going on, everybody? This is Saul Castañeda with mcscgreenwheels. Phasers. These are our exhaust phasers. These are our intake phasers. Alright? This is what we got. Left and right, or right and left. You look at your cam here. Right? If you're sending for your right side. Left if it's going on your left side. Alright? The intakes, though, they don't have anything that really marks them to be left or right. As you guys should see. They will sit down, and as we put down the cams, you'll see where they sit in place, and what do you say, where they're gonna actually fall into place in their alignment, right? So we're gonna go through that. But here's the thing: one of the bigger problems that we were having before we started this, that we were going back and forth. We were contacting LMR, we were contacting APR. You see the difference here? Okay, these are our cams. I'm gonna show you what the Generation 2 cams look like. These are our Generation 2 from our old engine that we were going to get sleeved. Alright, now if you remember, our good friends over at the machine shop, they told us, oh, you know what? That engine was cracked, which opted us to go for our Generation 3 that you guys are seeing built. Well, here's the difference. This is your Generation 2 exhaust cam. This is your Generation 2 intake cam. Alright? Overall, the exhaust cam is the biggest difference. Alright? And you guys can see immediately why. Why? It's only one bolt that retains it, whereas the Generation 2 and I'm going to imagine the Generation 1, the cams look the same. Okay? So that's one of the things. So we went on a big hunt. As you guys know, we're trying to do the whole ARP stuff. Alright? All ARP bolts. Because you know what? They're good bolts, good quality, won't break down. Like for the heads, when you do the studs, you could take those off again and reinstall them. Why are we not doing the forged stuff? Because the bolts that are used here, and I showed you when we were just doing those bolts over there, these don't have any markings that tell you the grade of them. They're just B27. Why is that? Because these bolts are torque to yield. You're only meant to use them once. So again, we were shying away from that to use our ARP studs. Ran into the problem. We ordered our stuff. We always try to be proactive and get everything we want and everything we're going to need up ahead in time. So we did. We got the kit that they sell you at LMR, which says it right here, 2561003 Ford F 5.0 liter Coyote camshaft phaser bolt kit. They'll sell you this, and on the wording it says from 2013 to 2024 or 2011 to 2023, it's going to say that it covers all Generation Coyotes, which, as you guys can see, it does not. This takes 6 of these bolts 3 per phaser. So that's both sides right here. Where our Generation 3 only uses 3 bolts on the intake, as you guys can see here. And here's the thing, that's all the way through. That's threaded all the way through. Alright? This is from our Gen 3. It's threaded all the way through. Look at that screw. Look at this screw. This is not threaded all the way through. This one is. It's got the little point at the bottom. And this one is too. But this screw, yeah, see, this one is too. So I don't, and that's from our, this screw right here, it just came out of that cam from our Generation 2. Why are we getting these short screws in the kit? You know, I know that possibly because the threading is gone, it makes it tougher. And I know we're only going to use so much. But, you know, they're still a little shorter. You know, it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're not going to use them. The reason we were using the ARP because they take up a 2,000 PSI, which is kind of what we're, I think it says it on there.
200,000 PSI.
Oh, yeah. It's just 2,000 right there. And that right there. So, we were going to use that, but we didn't. Why? We can't. Because this bolt right here, this is the one that goes into your exhaust cam. Alright? Also, a torque to yield bolt. We called APR, we called LMR, we had to get on the phone with Hunter, and then our good friend over there at APR, which finally they couldn't tell us that they don't make this kit. To let you guys know, this is an M7 by 1.0 bolt. It's about 1.5 inches long, and that's the size. The crazy part is, you're not going to go to a store and find an M7 by 1.0. They do make them, but you're not going to find it at the store. I had to go out of my way to different places. I had to go to Standard, and then I had to go to Metric to find out people that actually make these bolts. And they said, hey man, they had barely the 7 millimeters, and most definitely they did not have this one. Now, you can go ahead and look for it all you want. You're not going to find it. This is an M11 by 1.5. I'll repeat that again. This is an M11 by 1.5. You are not going to find an M11 1.5. Even our good friend over there at Metric, Chad, he went around through his warehouse. That's a big warehouse, man. And he couldn't find an M11. He told me out the back, we don't make that. I got M12s and M10s, but that M11, it ain't on there, man. And this is also a torque to yield bolt. So what happened? We had to go back to APR and let them know that your kit's not what it says, and you should take down that wording, because for people that are building a Gen 3 like this, your kit is not going to work. So they did call us back and send us some text, and they said that we were right. So did LMR, so we're going to send them back their kit. Unfortunately for us, it left us to the position that we had to go ahead and we wanted to use the 10 point. These are 8.9 bolts. Oh, I'm sorry. These are 9.8 bolts. I got these from my buddy Chad over there at Metric. Now, they're not the oxidized black, but they're much better than torque to yield. Number one. Unfortunately, and this is the kicker, guys, this bolt right here, we had to get it from Ford, and it's going to be a torque to yield bolt. APR said they're going to look into a kit. Maybe you guys get it, but we're definitely going to have to use a brand new torque to yield bolt on our exhaust can, because there is no M11 10.8 or 9.8 bolt, guys. So be wary of that. That's what's going to end up happening. Now, most of you are going to say, like, well, so how many times are you going to do that? How many times are you going to take that off? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know if we're going to open it up again. You don't know. But I sure as hell don't want to keep buying the same freaking bolt. And this ain't cheap. This is $15 a bolt. A bolt, guys. That kit for LMR was $74 for those 6. It was $7.90 each one of these from Ford for the M7s that go on your exhaust. That's 6 times 7, $8 plus tax plus this, $15. That's 30. We were up to about $70, $80 right there already for bolts that we're going to use singly, only one time. Well, we had to make a big fuss. We had to delay the video a little bit, but you know what? We had to come and give you guys the information to let you know we were unsuccessful to get ourselves an M11. We got the M7s. We're going to use the M7s, but until this guy gets made, we're going to stick with torquing it to the specs that it gives us in the book. We're also going to do these to spec. But like I said, guys, so be wary and understand that if you're not going to go the route to go ahead and drive around through half of Chicago, the south side and the east and the north side, then you know what, man? Go to your dealership and buy the bolts and just break it down and do it. $7 for the one, $7 each for the ones on the intake, and $15.30 I want to say for each one of the ones in the cam, on the exhaust cam. All right. So that's our story with this. Now let me shut up and let's get back to building.